Okay, so good. Oh, great. So today we have three champions here at our studio, very elite studio. We have one from Kabuku, we have one from Ngong, another champion from Murang'a. Some of you may know them, some don't know them. So one is called Ruben the Machine. We'll explain why it's called Ruben the Machine. There's Sidof from Kabuku. Then there's the Ika Limeva from Ngong, like running a lot in Ngong and also Ngong Hills, Kajiado area there. So we have these three people today. We want to know their stories. We want to know what inspires them, what makes them run as they do, and their plans. Maybe they want to go pro, maybe they want to have records they want to break, right? You never know, right? So with that said and done, let's hear from our champions themselves. Let them do a brief intro and karibuni, by the way.
Asante.
TIZI Calisthenics.
Thank you.
Right? So I'm also, very hyped up about you guys. So tukianza na Ruben.
Yes.
Ruben the Machine. So how did that come on? Why the machine?
Okay, Ruben is a guy from Murang'a and a guy who enjoys running. And Ruben Machine is a name which was driven by other guys from where I was. Happened to be in Qatar in 2019. And in 2021, when we were running, I did an outro of 90 kilometers. And after that race, as I was position 3 in that race, the guys were shocked because the kind of the trainings I was doing them at night because I could not have time during the day to practice because I was working. Yeah, during the day I was working. So at the night, 2 p.m., 2 a.m. at the night, 3, that's when I was doing my training. Then when I became number 3, and they never thought that I could conquer the guys who have won earlier.
Yeah.
So they said, you are really a machine. You're a machine. How can you do this? And from there I got, oh, okay, I'm a machine. So I took that name to be running machine, Ruben Machine. That's how I got the name.
Running at 2 in the morning to compensate for your time during the day.
Yeah.
Training for an ultra that you came number 3.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. Now we have Sydney from Kabuku.
Yes.
Tell us about the man behind the name Sydney.
Okay. Sydney is a guy who stays in Kabuku village in Limuru constituency. They used to give me a nickname Sidoff, which is derived from Clarence Seedorf, who used to be a midfielder for, I think, Inter Milan. AC Milan as well. AC Milan. So that's where the name really came. So some people used to call me Seedorf, some Sido. That's
You are a football player.
I was a football player.
So you are good, so meaning that's why the name came Sido.
Exactly. No. I think I was playing more of the right back position, left back, and number 4, more of defense.
Yes.
But sometimes they would give me that chance of overlapping.
So you were a footballer before?
I was a footballer before. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Tuende kwa the Inkali Meva. No, sometimes I call it the Inkali Never.
Yeah.
So tell us the person behind the name.
No, Inkalimeva is actually a fictitious name in some way. No one gave it to me. I kind of gave it to myself.
Yes.
And it's Inkalimeva is a fictitious animal. I don't know whether actually it really exists. There's this story, I think, back in primary school.
Yes.
It's an African fable story.
Yes.
So there was this animal with the name Inkalimeva, and it's a cunning animal, kind of. So it was playing tricks to the hair, because the hair was kind of left in. You can look up the story. Actually, if you Google,
So the animal was called Inkalimeva.
Inkalimeva,
A cunning animal.
it's a cunning animal, and you can imagine an animal which is more cunning than the hare,
Yeah.
because it was actually able to trick because the hare was left to kind of guard certain food for the animals. So this guy tried to come by and he tricks the hare so that he can have access to that. But the story is there. It's you try to
So
Google.
you are a trick. You are.
no.
Let's put it in a nice way.
Yes.
You are intellectually, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say trickster or cunning. I don't know which one to say. Help me.
No, I don't really. Maybe now that you bring it up, I think I'll try and dig in and just find out why did I
outsmart people.
Yeah.
You outsmart people. And maybe that's how.
Yeah, sometimes we also do things subconsciously. You title yourself a certain way, and it happens. Yeah. So nothing much behind the name. Just I guess I just got fascinated with this
real name Peter Muya.
That's it.
Peter Muya. The real name this guy Cairo. It's called Sydney Cairo, like Australia, Egypt. And Ruben?
Josephat Ng'ang'a.
Hey, Ruben Josephat Ng'ang'a. So there's some people who know you as Jose.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, so ndo hao wako hapa, right? So we'll start. So who are you guys in childhood? Were you guys running when you were young, in primary school? Were you already, we know Sidofia was playing football. What about you guys? What about you, Robert?
Okay, my childhood was very funny. I can say funny because I've been in a family where my parents believe that you have to study and you shouldn't play around. If you're playing around, you're not studying. So in my school, I could participate in any sport. Anything that was given, whether the sport, I was good at it. And even education, I was good at it. But my dad wanted us to be strict to education. So I grew in a school where education was very valued and sport was none of their business. That. And primary school, I never participated in sports, but I only did drama. I was very good in acting. And I remember I have a certificate for best actor in Central Province.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys see that in him?
Actually, I was a best actor.
Yeah.
And I got that certificate. I was a good musician and a dancer.
Oh.
So during these school festivals and music festival and everything, I was the front. I was
what do they say? The man of the party, the life of the school.
Yes, that's where I was. Then when it comes to sport, I could play football. I was a very good goalkeeper. And this continued even in high school. In high school, I can say that I was jack of all trades because I could play basketball, I could play football, I could play volleyball, handball, and sometimes rugby. And when it comes to running cross country, which was a must in school, that one I could just go around and become number one, and that's the end of running. Then I go to the handball. I was very good in handball.
What do they say about jack of all trades? What do they say?
Yeah.
What do they say? Jack of all trades is a master of zero.
Yeah. Actually,
you're a master of none.
I'm a master of none.
Yeah. Amazing. So then maybe you picked it up after high school?
Now after high school, now back to the village. That's where now I started playing football as a goalkeeper.
Yes.
And I was very good goalkeeper. Yes. And I think I picked this from my father, who was a footballer. Oh, so in our family, only my dad who used to play football.
It doesn't fall so far.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Kabuku.
Yeah.
We've heard about you already about football, but you can say something. Who was Sydney in Limuru?
My childhood was all right. I would say I started in Nairobi actually. We used to stay in South Sea and Zimmerman up until I was like 8 years. Yes. So we moved from Lavington Primary and I was taken back to Limuru. So we were in Tigoni. In Tigoni, the private school I was in, they would encourage both sports and reading and all.
Yeah.
So I would participate in such, but it wasn't competitive in that sense. So I would say it was just playing and just basically that, playing sports day, and nothing out of the ordinary.
Yes.
I wasn't like I was the best, but I was there.
You're there.
And high school is where now responsibility started to come. And in Form 2, I was given the role of assistant combat prefect, which was later promoted to assistant games captain in Form 3. So with that, I was able to sample many sports. I remember I was good in table tennis, but not competitive. We used to play sometimes lawn tennis because there was a court there. But primarily, I was playing football for the school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're already a prefect from TIZI.
As we used to call them lifters. In our school, we used to call them lifters. Right?
No.
Yeah, they used to lift a lot. So that, for you to be seen, you have to be holding something up. They used to call lifters.
But I think where I would say the athletics came, a second time, if you all remember, I think, is when they used to have those calendar of athletics a lot and games.
Yes.
So I used to participate in cross country, and I remember when I was in Form 2, I defeated a lot of Form 4s. I must have come around number 3 or 2.
I have your certificates.
Yeah.
Form 2, we have them.
Yes.
Maybe I'll show them maybe after the video.
Yeah.
Form 2, Mr. Kabuku here defeated all Form 4s. Was it 800?
800 meters, I was number 1. Then still later on the same day, there was 3,000 meters, I was number 2.
Same day,
yeah. Then in Form 3, I don't think I did much. Form 4, I was number 1 in the 5,000 meters. So I would say that much as much. And I went up to the district level for the athletics when I was in Form 3. Form 3, yeah. And then that's where you meet now the level of people who are really training day and night. And you are just doing it one of it.
Yeah,
and you're relying
the whole
on.
school is behind you.
Yeah.
Very good. So go to Wanapita. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, for me, I think I'll flip it a little bit and sort of talk of how did we get here? How did we get to this place? How did we get to this moment? And one thing I can mention, because people are mentioning about how are they in childhood, because there's a very interesting. Look at it. Way to look at it. That when we came to this world, each one of us, of course, biologically, we know how we came to this world. We were born into a certain family. And that, in a way, kind of influenced a lot. I mean, we never got to choose our parents. One, I'm aware we were born. I know there's an ultra runner. It's called Dean Canances. One of his running jokes is that if you want to become an ultra runner, you have to choose your parents. Quite. So looking at it is that the way we were born, where we were born, that influenced so many things. Like, for instance, we didn't choose our parents. Today, many things up to where we are today have been determined by where we were born. Like, what religion did we pick up? I've had people called Reuben. Yeah, I know. I can assume that's a Christian. It's quite obvious that his parents were probably. So at that point, you didn't even get to choose which religion you want to subscribe to. Actually, I don't know whether this is a joke or there have been stories like you read in the internet. You hear there's a kid who sued their parents for giving birth to them without his permission or her permission. Yeah. So many things have been determined by the school you went to. This guy talked of you went to somewhere you were born in Nairobi.
Yes,
sort of. So the school you went to, the social class that you grew up around, all those things, they determine so much. and even the education system kind of, I mean, it's a continuous, it's a gradual kind of, and it molds you to where you are today. So at this point, I think for me, I'm at a point in my life now whereby looking back now, it's kind of I'm looking at life backwards, sort of, and you realize that there's
unmold yourself.
Sorry?
You want to unmold yourself.
Yeah, you realize there are so many things that you need to learn, you need to unlearn, you need to relearn. Because most of these things were kind of pushed. I mean, we're not complaining per se. We don't want to sue anyone. We don't want to sue our parents. We don't want to sue the school system. We don't want to sue the government. Because actually, it's like a system that, but there's like a template that you're given, and you have to live within that template. So for me, I feel at this moment I'm at a point. I'm not really like advocating for this or that, but I'm saying, I'm just, because you are supposed to, like, you give your story up to this point,
it's okay.
how you came to be. So I feel I'm at a point whereby I'm trying to create my, of course you're not throwing this template that has brought you up to this point, because actually we should be appreciative of it, because we are what we are today because based on all those factors, which most of them, of course, we didn't sign against or we didn't get to choose. But at this point, I kind of feel that you have that opportunity to look back and you can come.
Draw your map now.
Yeah, you can draw your own map. Yeah, and come up with a template whereby, of course, there will be a lot of stuff. Of course, but now you also have that chance whereby now you can create one which you feel like this one fits me moving forward from here. And for me now, I think the running bit also comes in there, because for me, running has come to me this later on in life. Of course, I think the earliest primary, of course, it was almost a must to go for those. They're called cross countries. In high school, we used to call it Uroso. But I was also in the hockey set in high school, and in hockey, I played some bit of hockey. I never really turned pro in those standards of even of the high school standards, but I enjoyed playing.
It's a big thing.
It is.
They don't even think of this, what you're saying, pro. And they're like, man, I'm a hockey player. And he played 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that's why I played hockey from one, because I remember even the hockey stick that we reported with, because you had to bring either a hockey stick or a b-ball. That one I made sure that I'm the one going to use it. So I was in the hockey set from then. There was also a bit of kind of a special treatment to be in the sets at the school and the sports. But I remember there was part of the training. There was some bit of running, which was mandatory, of course, because you're in the set. And of course, like anyone else, most of us who back in as early as latest as in high school, we never really fancied this. We didn't fancy running and all that. We had to sort of be pushed a little bit. Speaking from this perspective, that you had to be pushed a little bit to put in the running bit. So this running it came a bit later on in my
retirement.
In my adult. And today we are here. Today we are here.
I mean, as you can see, that's why it's called in Kalimeva. In Kalimeva, I don't know, it's about ultras, or I don't know. They tend to think, they philosophize and think, and that's why they can go and run for 40 miles or kilometers, just, as he says, drawing his map. You're still drawing your painting.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you are the author. The society has little influence. Of course, you're getting influences from your past, and you're trying to see where your gains are and what you really love doing. And through running, you're picking up so many things.
Absolutely.
I like that analogy, right? Amazing stuff.
Okay.
So with now that you've known your stories, your 3 stories, if you can start now with, Ruben again, as we're going there. This is just random. Ruben, Now, from your upbringing, heard your stories about running and all those things. When did you now realize that you're actually good at running? And now, what's your plan with this running? Are you going pro? Are you what's your idea? Are you staying in this recreational space, or are you just enjoying the moment? Be honest.
Currently, I can say that I'm enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
But if you can just go back from
Yes.
where it started, and it was a bit funny because I never thought I could be a runner one day. My vision, or what I thought I wanted to be a musician, a hip hop artist.
Hip hop.
Actually, even from my village, and everyone knows that I'm supposed, or they think that they don't know what changed in me because even my mode of dressing and everything, I wanted to be like kina
Yes.
Snoop Dogg,
I know.
50 Cents, and the
Yes.
rest. Even my mode of dressing those time, and
Now you're
this
the
was
serious guy.
this was a very big. It was a bit funny because also my parents were shocked because from I told you earlier when I was being brought up, my family, that is my father, was very strict in education, and he wanted everyone to be straight in education, just because his friends, all of the family friends were teachers, primary teachers, the head teachers. So for him, education was the first priority.
Yes.
And I remember when I finished my high school, I wanted to do mass communication because I wanted to do journalism. But my dad said no, you have to do CPA. You have to be an accountant. And there now I felt now this is not how I'm lost. This is not what I want. But I did it just to make my dad happy. But in the process I was doing, I decided now I have to like my friend has said that create your own map. I say that okay, I'll do this CPA, I'll do these accounts, but I'll background or behind the doors, I'll be doing my own things. I started doing music. And I wanted to know how to do production of the music and production of videos, and I really did some without without that's why we had the reasons, we had the Fruit Loops, the programs. I tried to comprehend how everything those programs work, and I produced my own songs. I did my own videos. I actually had 3 songs which I did.
I wish we had time. We could play those songs and those videos and post them somewhere on social media.
Yeah. So that's how my life was before I changed. Now after college and everything, there's this a lady, or I can say that as a family friend, who just came to, and she happened to be a friend to my grandma, and she just told my grandma how his son is doing in Japan, running and everything, and the process. Then my grandmother told me, "No, you should also start running. There is something in running." And I told
I've
her,
seen people
"Yeah,
going
I've
abroad."
seen people going abroad."
Yes.
And
What
my
you-
grandmother organized with that lady how I could go to a camping training in Githurai.
Yes.
They planned everything, and I remember I was given 2 kgs
Githurai
of
here in
maize.
Nairobi.
Yeah,
Mm.
3 kgs of maize and beans, and then I carry my tracksuit, and my grandmother organized all this, and I ended up to Githurai. These are a friend to my grandmother.
Yes.
Took me to Githurai. And when I arrived there, I met these guys are very training, they are very serious. And I was given a program. I didn't know anything about running.
Yes.
But I thought now, let me try this because my grandma thinks
Yes.
that I can do it.
Yes.
I started the program, but it was very hard because I couldn't cope up with the guys in the training camp. And the vision for my grandmother was that I also go to Japan.
Yes. So you had pressure.
She had pressure. And my mom said that okay, let him go if you want him to go. So I stayed there for first month, second month. The third month I gave up. I told my grandma, no, I cannot do
3 months.
this. Yeah.
Only I thought 3 months.
I only did 3 months.
DNF in 3
I
months.
did 3 months. The fourth month, I went back home.
Yeah.
And I
Defeated.
just,
Defeated.
yeah, I felt it was very difficult for me.
Yes.
I couldn't cope up with the guys I was training with.
Yes.
And I went home, I told my grandma, no, this thing is not for us.
Yes.
Let me go back to my football.
Yes.
And she told me, okay.
Yeah.
Then from there, I went back to my music. From the music, now I had to change because my father now started helping other my siblings in school and everything. He could not support me anymore. Now I was alone. And because I've done some CPA, I went and applied for a school to be a teacher. Now I became a teacher for mathematics, biology. I taught mathematics and biology for 4 years.
Whoa.
In Thika, that is in a private school. And at that time I could go run that is a sport. I was the Kenya Private School Association games master.
I mean, thanks to the Giduraya environment, there are so many things that led you to that actually.
Yeah. So that when when I was part time when you closed the school, I could do my music. Then I could go back to school as a teacher. Because that time I was in a village. In a village I was doing music. When I come back to Thika, I was a teacher. Even the student could respect me because I'm a teacher. I was behaving guys.
As a teacher, not like
not the Snoop Dogg and the rest. Then after, now I did quit that job. I went back home, and that's when I started doing music, video production. I remember I have done 2 videos for wedding, one in Kaha West and one at my home village area. Now being in that music area. Now from there they knew me, all my village and all people in the neighborhood knew me as a musician, a guy who can do music production, a guy who can do video production and everything. And that was me. But now life challenges met me. Here there is a family. I have to meet their demands and everything. And I said, no, let me go. I just went to Qatar in 2019. So when I went to Qatar in 2019, life became harder than I thought because we are living in labor camp. This is why you could just only sleep, go to work, come back and sleep. And I felt like I can go back home. And after sitting and thinking, I said that they told us that you can go and change your work and so on, the work location and everything. But who will give you that? So I said now I have to make friends. But the only way to make friends in Qatar was only to either you involve yourself in a certain sport. Because I did my own research and I found that the only thing that can create friends for me who can help is only through running. And from there, I just joined the recreational groups, running guys there. And from there, I became a runner. 2019 is when I did my first run in Qatar, 6 kilometers. And it was a friend who registered me to this race in 2019. And
Never will had a time.
That's how I started my running. And up to today, I can see it is something that I told you.
I mean, from your story, as we can see, things don't just happen. You went to, it's unfortunate, you've been thrown into camps many times. You've gone to Gidurai, DNF after 3 months, 4 months, it was very hard. Went back home, became a teacher, then went to Qatar again and picked it up. Whatever, I mean, from high school, whatever you got, the small things you've gotten, and went to Qatar and you became a very good runner, thanks to your grandmother and many things that were pushed on you in your life. Looking back, right? Now, where you are now, really focused on running and doing amazing things. I mean, you're the latest guy, the new guy, the sub-3 David Tuolis recreational runner.
Yeah.
And that was in Murang'a. Right? I saw so many people rolling heads and rolling eyes and saying, wow, the elevation and all those things. And all of a sudden now you're branded as a runner, not a DJ, not a music guy, and now that is your title, and now you've embodied it. Now you want to really, pursue running from what I see. Amazing, amazing stuff. Ruben from Murang'a. Go to the Kabuku guy. Now from this story, I don't know how you can top his story. There's a lot of pressure. Even he is just thinking of what to say.
Yes.
But, I mean, it doesn't have to be that elaborate.
Yes.
If you have just 2 stories, it's all, it's all 30 years or whatever it is.
Yes.
I can remember only 2 things. It is okay. Apple is the same way. Just say. It's 2 things you say. It's 100 you say. So, Sydney, you are a champion in high school, running.
Yeah.
Yes. College, you went to Strathmore University. I was in Strathmore University the same. And there, you can imagine, I also did athletics at Strathmore, but failed miserably. I entered sprinting.
You understood?
Yeah, and sprinting barefoot.
Yes.
So 100 meters, 200 meters, first year raced. So during the second qualification, the stages.
Yes.
So the second qualification, going for 100, pulled a muscle, hamstring. I was like, next year I'll go there and be good. He never actually actualized. So I know how competitive it is there. But at Strathmore, second year, tell us your story. I don't want to say.
Yeah. So we moved to Madaraka, where Strathmore is, and it was a bit convenient for my parents because she was working close in Langata. At the time, I was in the school team, but I wasn't really the starting. I was kind of the substitute. Football. I'm talking about football.
Wow.
But by that time, I started to accrue some injuries on my right leg. So which they went and they did some scan, and it was scheduled that I should have a surgery on the ankle. I was in second year towards the end. So I remember going to the exam, doing my exam in support and aids, because at the time I had just done the surgery. I wouldn't say I was depressed after that, but it really took out the sports out of me because I couldn't play football. The leg was injured, it wasn't healing. Physio wasn't done really. The guy came twice, then do anything. So I tried another sport. I tried archery. Yeah. I would go to the field. I'd join the guys who in the archery field, throw some arrows, And then when the leg started to behave a bit easier because the field was close to home, I would go home, eat, then in the evening come and start doing some laps around the field. And the way the field is when you're running, the rugby players are playing inside. On the other, just inside, you can see the footballers, and then you can see the hockey players. So I would use that rhythm to feel like
you're doing all of that.
Exactly, like there are noises and how they're playing.
Yes, you're part of it.
Yes, that would kill the boredom of just running in circles. With time, I think I started to improve. But these races that you are talking about, like in Strathmore, they come once in a while when you have sports day.
Yes.
So I can remember in first year, actually, I won the 800. I remember the 800. Wow. In second year, I won the 800. And I also came second we used to do like a small cross country around Madaraka or something like that. Yes. I came second. In that year, I remember I also became first again in 800, and also fourth year. In fourth year, I came second in the 800. But if I was to go back, I would say in my life, like he was saying, he said something about being pushed. Sometimes you're pushed into these things. Yes. I remember when I was in second year, there was a Kiswahili teacher who was also the games teacher. And he always used to tell me, come out of this football. I can see you have something here in athletics, but when you're informed to but looking back at it, Mr. Ngodo, if you're looking at this, I want to say I'm sorry. I should have listened. I should have listened, but I didn't. But
at least you're not asking me where is this? Where is it?
But in essence, what I want to say is like, sometimes some people see through you or see you, and you are not seeing yourself that way, and I have such examples of that situation, and I think that's where now I gravitated towards running slowly.
So you have a story of football and running much together. Sorry about your injury.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd have been, someone else who didn't get your injury.
Yes, probably.
Maybe you'd have been a very proud freak. But amazing. Actually, again.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's a guy. I don't know if you follow him, because I know we follow the same guys. This guy who actually they hunted.
Cameroonians.
Cameroonians. Maybe you can pick it up.
Yeah.
You can match it up. Somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have Kalineva there.
Mm.
Hairs.
Yes.
So you can go and
Hunt for them,
run
yeah,
and grow and run and make it something.
out of it, yeah.
Out of it.
Yeah.
Crazy, amazing stuff. So yeah, philosopher himself.
Yeah, so for me, my running now, the running which I do today, I can say it kind of, it's more like came to me. I really don't have that moment whereby, because when I listen to people's stories on how they started running, especially now, post college, post high school, and all that. Now, the grown-ups running kind of, because most of the times you find that these are people who didn't even like running back in school, but now they voluntarily doing this. So most of people, okay, some of the stories, let me not say most, some of the stories are like, I started running to lose weight, for fitness, to get for health. Some of my friends were doing it and all that. So for me, I would say it just came to me kind of. I don't have that formative moment that I'm making a decision at tomorrow I'm starting to run. It kind of, I just found myself with it. And that would be around 2013. Yeah, 2013. And actually the part which I remember well is that one of my high school classmates, he was a recreational runner at that point. He's actually the one who took me to Karura, because through conversation, he saw that this guy is doing some small bit of running, because of course probably that time I was doing 3 kilometers, not recording anything. And 3 kilometers was everything at that point for me. So that is 2013. And then
3 kilometers to 300.
so the moment this guy took me to Karura, I think now that's when now there was a the
Spark.
the spark just blew up. And it's like you enter this room and you put on the light and you can see everything. So for me, I think at that moment I could see everything that I have to do this running. I don't know how really.
It's a joke. Maybe the Kali map was in Ngong could only see acacia trees.
No, that time I was not in Ngong actually. I did I was somewhere on Thika Road there. And so
Road, now you went to a forest and saw all these amazing things.
So actually I remember I fell in love with Karura. That
He
just
lives in Karura every day.
Yes.
So when you tell him Karura, he's wondering.
Karura Forest. Karura Forest. Karura Forest. And
there's no spark in Karura. No, it's just
okay. I think I've assumed that everyone knows what Karura is.
There's no spark for him. Okay, like me, we grew up in Kakamega. I mean, my folks, not me, Kakamega.
Yes.
Now they made it Kakamega Forest.
Oh.
But you see, so now when people like my folks go to Karura, they'll be like, what is this? For him, this is his everyday life. So there's no spark as such. He's not a town guy. I mean, that's just a comment I was making a joke with Karura and Limuru. Because for them going to Karura, I don't know. Do you find sparks when you go to Karura?
Kind of. Maybe when you're running with people. Okay, when you're running with people, then it gives you another feel. Yeah, for me, the people.
You're used to tea farms and very beautiful scenery. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So on that one, I think my high school classmate, it's called Peter Ngugi. I don't know, probably some of you know. Yeah, I owe him. I mean, on that one, because
he's a runner.
Yeah, he's a runner. He's a cyclist, and I know him. At least he's more like a veteran to me. Because by then he was a guy who is kind of a bit exposed.
Yes.
So at that point, I think all the answers were there. I just needed to find out what are the questions which I need to ask. Yeah, all the answers were there. So I think the other break point. We need the next. Do they say breakthrough? The other big step was in 2014.
Yes.
Now we've started running, and there's that thing whereby they say the universe will conspire. If you start doing something, things will certainly. So kind of there was that energy that was coming, and they also now. Yeah, this high school thing is quite a connection because now there are these there's a bunch of some high school
Things are unraveling
uh,
like that.
these guys were, and now they even an older generation than me. Because this guy I'm talking of when the same year. These guys were members of the Urban Swaras, Urban Swara running club. So they invited me. They invited me for a run. Because I remember my first run with the Urban Swaras. I think it's a run we did in Kikuyu.
Amazing.
Kikuyu, that is 2014. And I think that is the moment. Now everything just was now finally laid out because I show up there and I was still that that can call a small runner kind of because actually that year, that's 2014, and you show up at the Urban Swaras and I mean these are some serious running people, some serious running people, and because I remember even up to today some of the guys that I found there, and I was like, I was able to know, hey, this guy runs fast. I mean, there was that aspect. I was not really running fast myself at that point, really, but I was able to kind of connect with and to point. I mean, to know who are the guys to look out for and all that. And the good thing is that even today, some of those guys now we've become like comrades, and
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Now, what you're trying to say is those guys are not behind you.
No, they're not really there. I think we can we can sit on the same table.
All your heroes now. You can say
Because actually, the other bit of because the other bit, not really, because the other bit of the story is actually 2014 is when I did my first stunt at. So,
but pause there. 2014, and that's why I called you. That's why you call yourself retired athlete. 2014, this guy was busy singing. 2014, this guy.
I was in uni.
I was still in high school. Maybe.
And you're already in Urban Swara.
I joined the Bansaras in 2014.
You want 20 something, right?
I think 2021 is when I heard of it.
This guy knew a running group in 2019.
2022.
That's when I heard about Urban Swaras.
Yeah, I think it was 2021, I think.
2014 is when I joined Urban Swaras.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So when he says he's a retired,
And now I know a few runs, then I get to know. Okay, I can even mention names, the likes of Kina Victor, Victor Miringo, Kina Cheriot, there's a guy called Mesausawa ingine, no, there are a couple of names. There are people, Kina Wasaru. I think people when a run would start, and I'm trying to catch up with them, but these guys would be gone. But there's a guy called Eric Juno. Yeah, I don't know where he disappeared. Yeah, there was a couple of guys who at that formative moment I was. So I kind of found my clan. I knew these are the guys now who I need to kind of chase around. Yeah, and all that. Yeah. So that's 2014.
Did you catch them?
No, yeah, at some point I managed to. At some point I caught up with them.
Amazing.
And it's been amazing.
For people who don't know you, I knew you through Tandao.
Through
people
Trevor.
People like us, keyboard warriors, and how you've inspired us. Yo, there's a challenge. You used to wake up one morning and just do 42 every day, and with a crazy pace. I don't know if I'm saying my own things. Every day you were posting 42, 42, 42, and you're writing over 50. So, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, is it 49 years old until you're 50 years old? Or do you have 50 runs that you have to 40, 50 runs consecutive? But that was crazy doing 40, 40 with a pace of 4. And I was like, this guy is ridiculous because I mean it's what we call out of the box kind of things. It's not a programmed way. It's one of these things that people wake up and decide, okay, I want to do blah 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 and just feel how it feels. That's how I stumbled upon you, and also this ultra events where you've been winning this the 24-hour run at Parklands There's recently you did a 42 kilometers on the track field at Jeffries. Crazy. Doing a 42 under 3 on track on a 450-meter loop continuously. I don't know how many loops are crazy. So this is just a break for people who may not really know your accolades and people who want to wear your shoes. So these are the shoes I presented to Nkalimeva. So, wow. And you were saying running came to you. You did not go to running. But I somehow feel like there's a merge there, right? Because thanks to Peter Ngugi, thanks to the Karura, Abanswara, there was some nurturing there.
There is. There's been a lot of it. Because I remember, like, around 20, like when I remember once I ran for 2014, the standard half. It was actually the half marathon. And it was a huge achievement. No, I'm not putting down half a marathon.
They say they've run a marathon.
Yeah, it was big. For me, that time it was even bigger than a marathon. It was this big because I remember my time. Actually, I think I've never forgotten my time. My first half marathon, 1:55. And I remember it up to today. Yeah. And that's a pace of 5 something. It is something I would stand on top of a mountain. I mean, it was a big thing for me. It was, but I also like there's a period there, I think between 2015, 2016 there. I really struggled with you're still learning this thing, injuries.
Yes.
Then, I've joined Avansaras. The people I'm trying to chase there, they're not your kawaida people.
Yes.
The likes of Kina Victor, Kina Cheriot, Kina Masaru.
Yes.
Imagine trying to chase Masaru in 2015.
Yes.
You're going to and probably you don't even know the right shoe that you should be wearing and all. So for me, that was a very learning point, but it was more experimental because of course. I mean, I don't know how much information was out there. It's just like you're just doing your own thing, but of course through the vehicle that is there. So for me, because I remember actually, I registered 2016. I registered for standard. Actually, it's when I registered for the first time. But I did not do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I had injury. I mean, my shin splints were just too much, and those were, I think I suffered them for like 2 years, 2 full years. I don't know why.
Wow.
Today I don't even know how they disappeared or what happened. Of course, I have other injuries I struggle with today, but yeah. Then of course, actually, I will surprise you because I didn't run a full marathon in standard until 2021. That's when I ran my first. I ran my first full marathon in Kilimanjaro in Moshi in 20.
Did you do an ultra before your full marathon?
Yeah, I did. I ran ultras before a marathon. A marathon.
Yes. You've been running many races, but not the 42.
Yeah, at that point, because my first full marathon, I think, was in Mosh.
For everyone here, it's the same story.
Was in Mosh.
You ran an ultra before your 42.
Yeah.
You ran an ultra before 42.
Yeah. So you mentioned about those challenges. The one I usually do sometimes. That they're not really structured in any even given way. It's just because my learning has also been. What people can call shagala bagala. Yeah. But I like the freedom kind of freedom kind of it. And you almost do your own thing, not really do your own thing, but just what comes to you.
Another highlight in your running, you just mentioned you did 100 kilometers on a track.
Yeah, that was for my that was my birthday in 2020, I think, in 2020, November 11th, 2020. At Jeffries.
So your birthday, November 11th this year, tungoje 200. 200. One big.
No, I think I've done those enough of those. Maybe I should just retire on that. But I always like. For me, I've used the way I've handled my running would be, I use it as a tool, kind of use it as a just to challenge yourself. in a small way. It's always in a small way, like running those. Okay, like when I remember when I ran the 7 marathons in 7 days.
Yes.
It was quite. It was quite tough. I like by third day, Then with the way I came up was that I used to be this guy who was trying to run too fast all the time.
Yes.
Even on the normal runs, the ones you do.
Group runs, you're still running.
Yeah, you still run. No, group runs are the worst. Were the worst because those Bansara runs. There has to be Masala. So even on my own runs, the ones now you run there in your village where you live. No, I used to run them fast.
Yeah.
So okay, nowadays I've tried to
tone down
on
enjoy more.
And I enjoy more, and you just let the body go and all that.
Yes.
So I would think that was one of the reasons why I struggled with the injuries, but also I think in 2017 it's when I also started cycling. So that kind of
helped condition.
It really did.
Sport, so it helps the knees and
yes.
Yeah. Now, talked about our stories. We're going to go into the running science itself from your point of view, because we want to know how your opinions on running as a science, right? In terms of programs, in terms of shoes, in terms of heart rate, these things, people will say elevation and all those things. We'll get there. In terms of preparation before a marathon, what you guys do, prepare for a marathon or prepare for a race, whatever race, if it's home race, right? We'll get there. But before we go there, I want to know, for example, we can start now from Sydney. Have you ever considered going pro? Any one of you? Like Sydney, what's your idea of going pro? I know najua miaka pia nini, lakini tumeona watu wameenda pro, right? We have our friends who've gone to a camp, even in their later days, because of maybe just the love of sport, or maybe something, maybe a spark. Like Talai, for example, bet decided let me go back to the camp. Right? If I don't know, number one, or just the feel of that competition, because sometimes life is a bit too stag. I just want something, not to go and run with the boys. This is the time I went to play football with the college team during COVID, because I was just bored. Now this is a time for me to go back to professional football. I joined Nairobi University. Story is crazy, but such things. So, what's your plan with this running? You plan to go? What? Yeah.
I'm at a point where I just want to balance the aspect of increasing mileage and not tipping over to the part of injury, because as I said, that leg, the right leg, never really came back after that surgery. So it's a point whereby I tried to push the envelope, like the recent sub-3, which was unplanned for. I realized that I got to eat without a certain mileage, because I remember I was doing at max 70 kilometers or 60 and sometimes 50 per week. And I somehow managed to do a sub-3. So I thought I combine knowledge from asking, because if I'm interested in something, I ask people. And so I went and asked Kalimeva, how are you doing it? I started to study him. I go and ask somebody else. Then I combine and I find where I can modify it to suit me, not
your own unique.
Exactly. So for now, do really want to push myself into because I like the 42, the marathon, and I want to push myself and see how much further I can go. Faster, up to the point whereby I feel like, okay, let me let go. On the same side, I also do enjoy ultras anyway, and that kind of outdoor and.
They call you now comrades.
Yes. There's a camera. There's somebody. This one is addressed to somebody. You should be call me Comrade Cairo, yeah? They know you know yourselves, huh?
Comrade
Cairo, yeah. But for the others,
It's good anyway.
No, last time he told me I'm not his age mate, so. But anyway, to answer your question, yes, I find that I enjoy running more.
Yeah.
And I want to go. There's something I missed, and I want to say thank you to somebody.
Yes.
Thanks to Freeman Wangwe.
Mm.
He really helped me. Because I remember he's the one who introduced me to the ultras. There was a trail run in 2018 in Tigoni. It was by bucket lister. By then, I didn't know who he was. By Munyaka, I didn't know him actually. 2018.
He was already organized.
Yes, I have that sticker. So there was a guy who was supposed to run in our group. It was called Shamake, but he didn't. So I was given his beep to run.
Shamake, you know yourself.
Shamake. And since Tigoni is my home area anyway,
Yes.
I remember I came number 8.
Wow.
And this guy came into the race late. I'm talking about Freeman now.
Yes.
So Freeman met me somewhere around, it was a 25K race. He met me somewhere, I think, at around 11K.
Yes.
He didn't know me. I'd never met the guy. He talked to me. He was like, Twende,
Yes.
keep on the cycle. And then he gave me some encouraging words in his own sarcastic way.
Yeah.
And then he left me. I think he came number 3 or number 2.
I won that race. I won that.
Oh, you won the race?
That's
So you might have as well, yeah? Hey, yeah, okay, I didn't know you back there, did we? So that was my first race. That was my first race actually.
Oh, the Munyaka event.
Yes, it was Munyaka in 2018. Yeah. So yeah, that's where
No, those were my prime years, my friend.
Oh really?
Just kidding.
So you're talking about a race where the guy is sitting next to you.
Yes, the winner is here. So I came number 8 in that one. And I later met also Freeman again in Kili the following year. It was my first marathon, Kilimanjaro in 2019.
2019.
Yes.
Okay.
So he met me along the first kilometers. We ran with him, I think like 7K, and then I couldn't keep up. So he just proceeded. But later on in the year now, remember this is in February. I think there was a club activity by the ultra running club, and he invited me in Karura. They were doing all loops,
all
double
the loops. I remember. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I was still young.
No, it was coming to around 90 something.
Yeah.
Remember, the only marathon I've done was in February. So this is a guy, he meets me, tells me, okay, these are the guys.
You condition yourself, you have a program, you're not be running.
Exactly. Your leg is also, it can misbehave. So the guy tells me, Shika isn't in Jugu, groundnuts, have some. So the way it was going is, it would go 40, then even Winke was there.
Yeah, Winke actually was there, the convener.
Yes.
Thing.
So we went on until we remained, I think we were like 3 of us.
I remember that event.
And I remember I clocked 90. It was around 84 there, 84 kilometers.
Nice.
That was my first ultra. Then he slowly would nurture me into such crazy events. He would just tell me, oh, come, there's this event. And I think in such situations, my leg started to become a bit adapt and stronger.
Oh.
I think that's how the leg
What you don't use, you lose.
Oh yeah. Yes. I also think he helped me a lot in terms of the mental strength. With ultra, it reaches a point where it's no longer your body; it's about like your mind. I think personally from my experience.
No, I'll tell you even what he told me. The things I picked up from you guys.
Yeah.
He told me, sometimes when you're running, you could be fast, but if you don't know the distance in your head,
Yes.
let's say for an ultra, if you don't know you have to run maybe 6 hours or 7 in your mind, right? So your mind has to know, be conditioned 7 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, right? Now, if your mind is used, if you teach your mind so much the 4 hours, then it knows, this guy is going to disturb me for 4 hours. So, let me just switch off.
Yes.
Let's go for a 4-hour journey or 5 hours or 6 hours. And he told me, and I just picked it up. So sometimes, with me also, I run, let's say, if it's 2 hours, it's an hour, and I noticed it becomes easier because the mind has already locked. What they usually say, if a marathon is half a marathon. If it's 21.3, or I don't know the distance. If it's 23 kilometers,
Yes.
then from 21 to 23, it's no-go zone.
Yes.
Because your mind knows I'm finishing this thing at 21.
Yes.
So any extra, whether you're counting or not,
Yes.
It will lock.
it just looks.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro at these things. They say but yeah, continue.
So that was a short detour, but I thought it was important.
Yeah.
I mentioned that he really helped me. Unknowingly, he really helped me.
Yeah.
He unlocked something that I didn't know.
You had heroes here, we had Googie, we had now
Freeman. Yeah.
and stuff, and I know you guys have now caught up.
Yeah.
Caught up.
Yeah. Not in the ultra sometimes. but when it comes to the road, maybe. On the road, yeah.
So then
So my thing is, as I said, is to now 42 and push myself with a balance and see what happens.
and enjoy also.
Exactly, yeah.
Just enjoy the sport of running.
Yes.
Ruben,
Okay.
are you becoming a pro? Are you going pro? Tumeona umevunja rekodi hivyo bila sisi hatuoni kwa mtandao.
Yes.
Hatujui kama unakimbia. Sawa, tunaona one runner in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yes. You know, we also took my KOM at
Ngong.
We're taking
with 18 minutes.
With 18 minutes.
Explain it now.
Yeah, with 18 minutes. Yeah. That you can't take. Don't take.
Oh my.
So now you're second, eh?
Yeah, but there's a different route. You
ameshafanya 2:30 something, right?
Wow.
Just like that time you woke up, there's no conditioning,
Yeah.
you had no water,
Yeah.
no zoezi maisha electrolytes,
No.
all
gels.
those things, right? And you just woke up and decided, let me have a free run, and at 30 kilometers you felt your body still had energy, and you pushed it. Now, if you condition yourself, if you go to this program, if you go to this running groups, and there are so many coaches here will highlight, though you hapa, una pro hapa, unafaa kuangalia hapa, right? What is your plan? Do you want to push the envelope?
Okay, for me, I would just say that I'm not yet done till I get my limit. And Eliud says that no human is limited. So I'm still hoping to do more and to push the farthest I can. Ever since I joined running, that is in 2019, and I did my first 6K. The reason why I did this was because I was looking for friends, or I was looking for those people who can help me just do something different. And due to that urge of looking for friendship, I found myself even training and joining a running club. Actually, Doha Bay Running Club, kudos. You made me whom I am today. That club did help me by encouraging, training, and I could join them. And whenever they have races, they could inform me and I could join them. And there is one race that I did, which was held by the Qatar. It was 10K open. And that was my first race that I became position 1. And I was very happy because now that's where I unlocked everything I knew. Now I can do this. My grandma was right. And now
Always right.
Actually, that's when I realized that I can do it. And from there, there were these guys who were conquering and they were leading in Qatar. There is a guy called Nasruddin Mojou. He is an Egyptian. And there is Moshin Zaitun. Those two guys I really looked after because in every race they were winning, outrights they were winning, and I wish that one day I will compete with them. And during that 10K, I can say that I did good because I won in the 10K open, and from there the doors opened. Until now, because of the working condition, I had to keep on running off
Night running.
Yeah.
Night runner.
Yeah, night running, and then I was on and off in running just because of what I can see that having a tight schedule. So I could not be able to have a consistent running. From 2019, I ran again in 2020, and in 2020, I was invited to an ultra run That time I didn't know even what is ultra running. I didn't have any information, nothing. I just thought it is just a race. So when I went there, they told me that it could be a reading. It was a 90 kilometer where you do a loop and then give it to your friend and then he does the next loop. And they told
So
me
in one loop, how many kilometers?
it was divided from one water station to another. The first one was 10 kilometers, the other one was 15 kilometers, and another one was 20. So for me, they told me that you are going to do 2 loops because you are fast and you have the energy.
Yes.
So I did 2 loops.
Yes.
But after finishing the race and observing the guys who are doing the ultra and now having the idea what is an ultra and what it costs and what is needed, and I thought now this is 2020. 2021, I'm going to do a full 90 because I was envying the guy who were doing it. The first guy was Zayatrin. He's a machine Zayatrin. He's an army in Qatar.
Yes.
There is another guy, Nasruddin. He's also an ultra guy. They were the usual finishers.
Yes.
And I started envying them and wanting to know more about this ultra. And from there, I started training. And unfortunately, then the next year, COVID came.
Yeah.
And everything now shut down. No running, no what. And then we were locked, there was a lockdown, no going home, no going out. And as being workers, we were in a labor camps and everything was locked. So now only the government which was supplying us with food, nothing else. And from there, I started doing my own strength training indoors. And I could use the apps, the online apps, the home without gym equipment. I could follow those apps and do my own training until when it was unlocked.
Now you follow mine now.
Actually, I'm following you. After now, the lockdown was over and everything went back to normal. I was jobless and I didn't know what to do. And through doing those odd jobs there, here and there in Qatar, I was able to maneuver around just because I was a runner.
Yes.
I could be able to interact with other people who have jobs and everything.
Yes.
And I can say that running really helped me because it created a very good bond. Because now people could know there is Ruben, he does this as a runner, there is this opportunity, they could call me. And from there, doors started opening. And I remember when I said that I want to do a full ultra, I got support from some of the friends in Qatar, and I was very happy. They told me that if you need this, just ask. And I started training. Unfortunately, the work that I got, I had to be in work almost full time. I didn't have time to train.
Yes.
Until the race was supposed to be in November, and up to October, I have not prepared for the 90.
Yes.
The last month, I dropped from work. I said I won't work. I'll train. I started training morning and evening for 1 month for the ultra 90.
Yes.
After now, the training, the race day, I knew that I could do it, but majority of the people say that you Kenyan without a support, you cannot do it. And actually, I did it up to 90 kilometers, and I was position 3, and that's where everything has started now. I knew now, I started loving ultra. And even today, I call myself an ultra man. I want in future maybe to major in ultra running, maybe road ultra running and other marathons.
Please break our records first. Break all these things. You've broken his already. I want you to break all these records. After to Trafford, unasikia.
Okay, actually, I'm coming.
That's a good friend.
Under 2020. Under 2020. Sancha. Sivyo.
So,
Yeah,
okay, what happened? Something happened after now doing that ultra, and I was offered a job in Qatar. Something happened that I had to come back home and then maybe go back to Qatar. And when I came back home, and my initial employer had not cancelled the visa, so I could not go back to Qatar. So I just stayed home. And when I came home, I decided now, because I was running in Qatar, here in Kenya, why will I run? Anyway.
Yes, so the whole you are now finished.
So here I'm home. Now I think in my mind I thought now running was in Qatar. Now here in Kenya it's just hustling.
Yes.
As normal. Now I stopped running. And after some months, I thought now, what am I doing at home? Just I started missing running.
The whole activity.
I could just wake up morning, run 1 kilometer, and then it's nearly You don't want neighbors to see you because for them, when you come back, they know you as an artist, a hip hop music artist, and so on. So I had a difficulty in coping up with now running activity, especially in my village where no one is running. And one day I made up my mind. I said that no, I see runners in Kenya do it. I'll do it anyway. After all, it's my health. Whoever talks, no problem. I started jogging in the morning. I could just jog, come back home, and I would use the shortcuts where there are no people. Just come back home.
Well, this is very key, even for the people who feel the running is not for them and find it hard lacing up in the morning. People look at them funny. Even for someone like you, still have that pressure. So this is for those who think there's no pressure up there. There's pressure everywhere.
Yeah. Take a picture of a guy in the village waking up in the morning, going running instead of going to hustle. And then everyone is just looking around. Why is he running? When did he start running? You don't know him as a runner. So everyone was asking me, why are you running?
Why are you running?
And
Where's the money?
because I've stayed for 3 years without being at home, they don't know that my life changed.
Yes.
I'm not the Ruben they used to know. Now I'm a running machine.
Yes.
And it's only me who knows. For them, they don't know. They know me as the guy. By the way, I was calling myself Rabbi. Because when I was doing music, I was Rabbi. So they knew me as Rabbi, but not as a running machine.
Yes.
Now I could run in the morning. My wife was asking me, no, why are you running in this? But I told her, I remember one day I told her that if you see the cow that you milk every day in the morning, that is running money. And from there, she just told me that, okay, then I bless you. Do everything that you want. From there, I took running serious. And I remember when I came back here, there was this Nairobi Expressway Marathon. It was its first time to be run. And I said, now I'm going to register for this run.
Last year.
So when I just registered for this race, because of the training that I was doing and what I was doing in Qatar, in my mind I thought that I could do this 42 in a good time. And unfortunately, I did it with 2 hours and 51 minutes. And I was very disappointed because being an ultra runner, running 90 kilometers,
And big number 3.
and being number 3, and doing all the training, and then here in Murang'a, I'm going up and down those hills. And now it's just 42. And then 42, I
Just 42.
Yeah, that's I just had it with 3.
That's
2 hours and 51. I gave up and then I stopped running. And I just now did well with running. I guess my...
Because you ran 251, you said you gave up.
Yeah.
Right? And other people,
I just saw that there's no need of running. There's no need of running again.
Yes.
Then after 2 weeks, I just felt bored. And I found myself just jogging in the morning, coming and getting grass for the cow and the tree. That was until now when I joined the Decathlon. And as a runner, I realized now they have picked me because I'm running, and because of what I have been doing in running. So running is important. So I joined the Decathlon just because of running. From there, I gave respect to the running. Now I started running again. And after some months, now I was not serious with running. I could just wake up, run, and go up. So just a normal routine. I was invited to ultra running, and actually that's when I realized that we have ultra runners in Kenya. I didn't know whether we have ultra runners. I thought ultra running is only in Qatar and other countries, but here in Kenya there isn't. But there's a guy in Decathlon, Clement, who is my working colleague. Yeah, he told me about the bucket list and how the ultra runners are and how they organize the races. And I got interested and curious. And he told me, why not join us next weekend? We are going to have a 24-hour run. 24 hour, how is it? You just go a loop of 7. In my mind, 7 kilometers and then you rest, and 7 kilometers you rest. I give it a try. And we just went to 24-hour run. And I had not prepared for the race. I only read a few days to race, and I thought now I can do 24. Just because it's 7, then you rest, no problem. When I just went there, I took it in a different perspective.
That perspective was good.
I changed everything because in my mind I said no, because I've done 90 in Qatar, why can't I try this 90 now in this 7 group? Because I'm going 7, then I rest. And I see the best time I can do 90. And for me, I took it serious and I did it seriously as a competition. So I could do my 7 rap with the 23 minutes, 7 kilometer, come and rest.
Wow.
Do again the 7 kilometer with the 23 minutes, come rest. And I was enjoying everything.
Yes.
I felt as if I'm doing nothing. And the psych I was getting from the club, the cheering and everything, the support, I felt now this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be an ultra runner, not any other runner. And then the guy who was there, I don't know whether he was that Hindi guy. That guy who was organizing, was taking pictures.
Jacob?
I think he's an Indian.
He's an Indian.
He told me, now you should not be running ultra. You should go and try half marathon and full marathon. You can do it. You are very fast. You are not an ultra runner. No, I think I'm home now. Then you tell me that I should not be here. I tell him, okay, I will check on that. After doing that 24 hours, I did up to 23. But just because I reached my target of 90, I felt no need of doing 24 hours. I did up to 23 and I did 161 kilometers. And
with a very good time.
With a very
average of below 25 every loop.
Yeah, with a very good time. And from there I noticed I can do an ultra. And even today I call myself an ultra runner and a mountain runner, and I can do any race as long as I'm not limited. I don't limit myself. I don't give myself excuses. So I know I can do it. So from there, then I met a very important man, a man whom I respect so much, a man who, for me, I can say that I can give all I have for him, Mr. Ryan. He revived running in me. He revived everything in me. Okay, I've already given up on running. I stopped running. Even when I was going to that 24-hour run, I was just going to have fun. Then I come back and I stop running. But that night we talked with him. He told me, you have this club, you can join us. We have this relay and so on. We will communicate. From there, he kept on calling and calling and calling. And I asked my, why is he so interested? I'm not, I have a job, I'm working, so no need of running.
Yes.
But one day I sat down and said, if this man calls me, I think he has seen something in me. So I will not let him down, and I'll prove to him what he has seen is true. I started being focused. I called him. I told him now I'll get back to training. I was not training. I could train on and off, but not serious. Just waking up and running and coming back and going to work. From there, I started thinking of, I've never thought of program in running. Yes. But from that time, when Ryan called me and told him that we are going to have this marathon, I started thinking now I should have a program. What is needed in running? I started preparing myself. But I said, a marathon really, where you do a 7 loop, I no need of serious training. But after that, really, he talked to me. And the kind of motivation and the kind of the things that he told me really motivated me. One thing he told me that you are a team player. Everyone was saying that you can lead and everything is. And I said, okay, if they can see that in me, so the person who is limiting myself is me. So I changed everything. I went back to running, and whatever I have achieved in the running up to now, it is because of Mr. Ryan, and I salute him so much. And that's why I am here today, and that's why I always say that I've not reached my limit. I'll push the furthest I can, and it's just because of him. And I know I'll do great. So going pro, I don't know, but you'll see it.
Hey, we're not telling yourself relax. I'm on the spot. I'm not being interviewed here. But I was not even at the relay. These are stories from your teammate Sydney and the team that was there who were telling me all this. Then I was relaying, I was telling you because I was not there, I was away. And what they were saying, how you helped everyone and all those things is what I actually told you. And again, we've had stories here. It is passion. If you hear everyone's story, and I'm sure you guys will also impact other people the same way. And thanks. So my point is, you don't have to be a runner to inspire runners.
Yeah, you don't have to.
to be a runner. No, amazing. And I'm sorry, this stories seem to be very, long and stuff, but this is what we're doing here. It's real life stories. Hopefully, these real life stories are going to inspire and motivate each other, even ourselves, and not just beyond. To do whatever we can. I mean, as you said, no one's limited.
Yeah.
So we can do many things, even with our short period of time. I mean, we create time. Yeah. You created time running at night. Now you create time even with your job.
Yeah.
And then amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Well received. Mmenichukua, and this is a celebration also. We need these celebrations once in a life inakuanga ngumu. Mtu akikushukuru hiyo nitafungua champagne. Lakini asante. Yeah, continue. Now we have because now you can do 21, you can do 42, you can do short races, you can do long races. Now it's up to you to figure out. Senior said he's focusing now on 42. Then another season will come, we focus on ultra or 21, and now we go to the man himself who's been running and running and running, and now after doing everything, it'll never. What next?
Remember, he said he retired. Now he's
Why do you wake up in the morning? You've done pretty much.
No, I haven't done much.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I still have a whole bunch of stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
But okay, I know you had asked whether there's that plan to turn pro and all
Yes.
that. No, I would say there's no any conventional
Yes.
plan to do that.
Yes.
And just like my friend here said, I was carried away by his story. It's quite powerful and all that. And, I was not at the backyard that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hoping to be there next year. Yeah, we'll see how things go. A little bit of that.
You know about the backyard. Let me tell you about the backyard.
Yeah.
It was amazing. People reserve. Ultra runners kind of take it slow and easy, reserve energy for the later hours, and no one does it.
Yeah.
Because it's more of for as long as you can. So this guy came in with an unconventional way.
Yes.
This guy was PBing. Was time trial. Every loop is doing time trial. He was like, this guy's gonna crash after 5 loops. 6 loops. Okay. Listen. 8 loops. I will make sure 8 loops. As in labor. The guy continued. I met the guy and I was like, okay, so what's your goal? I want to do till 6 p.m. And I'm done. The guy continues till 4 in the morning. I was still running. And know that, so he did it very unconventionally. And how people change the game.
Yes.
Right? We've heard of Steph Curry, how he changed the game of basketball, and people, how they changed the game. So that day, Ruben changed the ultra game. Because how many people are used to doing the ultra, especially the loops.
Yes.
Right? Just doing it. This guy was crushing it every loop. Crushing it. No books, no nothing. Changed the script, changed the rules, and he enjoyed doing it. So regardless of whoever is telling him anything, hey bwana, punguza mbio, punguza wewe utakuja umie. Punguza ujeuri. Punguza ujeuri unatuonyesha nini? Punguza utaisha. Right? So shut off the noise, enjoy your run, enjoy your race. If you want to do it fast, do it fast. If you want to do it. So it changed something. And that's amazing. Now back to you, Peter.
Yeah, so for me, I think at the moment, I'm still experimenting on. I know you guys. I told you that I retired. I actually retired from the podium because I mentioned of 2018, 2019. Those were my podium years, but the recreational space was quite huge, and all these races, like every weekend, we are running somewhere. Wow. And most of these were just straight runs.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, the unfortunate bit is that apart from the medal, the podium didn't come with. It did not come with that. So I think there's one challenge because I'm always throwing challenges at myself. Like right now, you saw there's some sub-3 thing I'm trying to do. It's a bit, it's experimental still, because in the conventional world, you'd be told that, like, you run a marathon, you need this and this period to recover before you run.
I know.
Yeah. So actually, because I didn't start this year so well.
Yes.
Actually, the ironical thing is that I finished last year quite very well. But now I was actually very.
I was following you last year. You were doing those 40 every day.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, what's this guy going to do? I remember even we were at Sydney. Then you just went off.
Yeah, and even the sub-3s, I kind of piled them towards the end of the year around. Yeah, a couple of them, and of course I had targets, and I still have those targets. So when this year began, kind of things flipped. Things do flip, and I didn't start well. Maybe that can be a story of another sitting. It's a whole big story in there. But so
you found yourself and you kept on running.
yeah, I found myself again, and what actually I was trying to do was trying to, like, now this July. This is July. I had some. I'll call it. There's a friend of ours who is in the Atra group. We're all in the Atra group. So he calls it foolish courage. And I had a target of, like, I wanted to. It's not really some beautified thing, but I wanted to run some. I mean, I wanted to play some catch up, because I had a target of this year with the sub-3s.
Yes, 50 of them.
Not this year. The 50 is the end game. But each year has an allocation. And even as we speak, I'm behind that schedule. I won't go much into the details. So also, I was when I did that one after Kijabe, I went to Jeffries, and I know that was the first one for this year. It was my first marathon this year.
This was after Kijabe.
Yeah, after Kijabe.
People haven't had that. After Kijabe, the next day?
Yeah, so no, the next weekend now. So I've been having a trouble. There's an uncle of mine has been troubling me, injury and all that. But so I had a target for this July. I wanted to do at least 4 of them, to just try to. No, they're not as beautiful as I had Ruben here say that he was disappointed when he ran a 251. I know 251 is my marathon PB. Yeah, but I also, I don't know whether this is an Kalimeva way of doing things. I say a sub-3. My first sub-3 was a 259. I always joke about it so much that I say that when I did it, like in a room like this, I was told, if you find a seat, just sit over outside there, we will call you. It didn't even qualify for me to sit in that. The logic bit of it is still a sub-3, so it qualifies. So for me, there's still a whole bunch of like that. That's one of them. There's a target which I have for the sub-3s. I don't know whether it works. Someone has told me whatever you're trying doesn't work. I don't know it's based on what that it doesn't work. Because but that's one of them. There are also other things that
what do you mean? No,
like challenges.
Challenge doesn't
No, that one of like running those, because the target here was this idea was born. Most of my ideas of these crazy ideas come up when during a run. Just doing a run and something comes up in your mind. You're like, I should do that.
What is that crazy idea?
No, so this one actually we had gone for a run in. There's a guy called, actually now I remember the other person who I met the people I found in Urban Samaras, who I was trying to say. There's a guy called Davis. Everyone knows Davis, Davis Munene. So we went for a birthday run to Philosopher. You know the Philosopher run, the one there's
Kerio.
The Kerio Valley. So that idea is because actually his birthday is also in November. My birthday is November also. So that idea for me, it came during that run, that to run a certain number of sub-3s by the time I get to 40. So that's what I'm trying to do. Currently I've done only 8 of them. No, I think 7. I'm counting one, which which I should be. I'm planning to do sometime. I don't know whether my leg will allow me to do that. So, so, so far I've already this year I will exhaust 2 years.
Yes.
And in 2 years, if you are to run for 5, and I've given out too much information. I've even said my age. So so the period is 5 years. It's a 5-year period to run 50 sub.
Yes.
So it means that each year you have to run 10. 10 sub 10 sub 3. And at 259 is at sub 3. I've already run 2 actually. The last one was at 259. And at that moment, you're really looking at your Garmin.
Amazing. So you have like what they call a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And in that 5-year plan, you have also other.
The other challenges which I haven't.
So yeah, I haven't said, but this is just the formal one.
This is one of them. This is the one which is currently active.
Amazing. Very few.
Actually, there's another one which. This one I conceived it in my mind in 2018.
Yes.
I was riding my bike from Mundoro. You know Mundoro?
Yes.
If you are a cyclist, you know Mundoro. I know you are a cyclist. And that one I've not even.
Where?
Yeah.
Mundoro to where?
No, I used to stay on Thika Road. So
Okay.
so I was just on my bike and I'm like, hey, what if I do this? This. You know Mundoro? Yeah. So that one I've not even started on it. Because it needs a bit of resources around it. It needs, yeah.
What is that?
No, it's just it's a run. It's a run thing. Which is no. Do I have to say it? You brought it up. Yeah.
Yes, you post all your things. This guy doesn't post, so he's even more fearful.
No, this one I'll give you an example of someone has actually done it, but in a different version.
Yes.
Someone has run an ultra in every county.
An ultra.
So for me, it's a marathon. I want to run a marathon, but I want to do it in 47 days. Woo! In 47 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're asking, are we turning pro or that? So for me, there's all this, because for me, every run is like there's an idea that that comes out of it. Yeah. Not necessarily running, but even in other areas of my life and all that.
I very much well relate, kinda to your style, and again unconventional. It's outside the box. It's not in a particular. Someone will say, in a year just do 3 marathons.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Or 2 kwenda sana, right? Because it's depreciating whatever.
Yes.
Results. For yours, it's like mimi yangu si penye unaona labda yako ni a race, labda unaona run 3 races. For me, I'm just doing it, run this number of marathons with this specific time, and you see I don't think you're cracking yourself very much in terms of pace, because if it was pace, then you'd run maybe 2 marathons.
Yes, sir.
If you're targeting time, I want some particular time. I want to run at 240 or at 230. I want to enter 230. Then your mind will be different, right? But yours is more of yourself and what things you're conquering. You want to do this number of marathons by the time in 5 years, or by the time you're turning November, by the time you're, unconventional things. You want to run every county, some marathons every county, and I call that recreational in a nutshell, right? Because it is not, right, a conventional way of. It is fun.
It's impressive. It's also a bit.
It's your own story, right? And every one of you here has many unconventional stories. He said he's alirusha Karura kufanya 70 out of nowhere. This guy came from Comrades. Sorry, I'm blowing your horn. He did the Comrades, whatever day. And everyone was like, after Comrades, you have to recover 2 weeks of no running or something, right? He goes and does his sub 3 after Comrades, right? I don't know how long it took. Then he does his sub 3 after. So that's very unconventional. So how do you go and do a sprint, right? After this torturing event in quotes, right? People have done it, and now they're like, this is my greatest achievement. Let me just sit back, relax, and the year is over. This guy's year wasn't over. After a while, kitu tu iliamka akasema wenyewe anasema kama nilikimbia 90 hii 40 hii wacha nikimbia expressway. Kimbia expressway at 30 kilometers. Okay, maybe I can. And you did your sub 3. So I call it recreational. There's this, this David Goggins thing.
Yeah, David Goggins.
He runs 7 every. What's the challenge? Where he runs.
The David Goggins challenge.
Yeah.
The 48-hour thing.
48 hours. Yeah. So he runs for 48 hours. So it's very short distance.
It's a short distance. 4 miles every hour.
Yes, 4 miles every hour. So the idea is just a no sleep thing.
Yes.
So you don't sleep in 48 hours. So you're running. It's 7 times 7. So 7 miles every hour. So it's like the backyard. And now for 48 hours. Right? So whatever pace you're using, whatever thing. So for him, he coined it not because of health, not because of sport, or more because of your mental. He calls it collapse in your mind.
Collapse in your mind.
Your mental thing. Try to do it with thing. I have to revisit that thing. Of course, maybe sikuwa well prepared, sikupanga vizuri. But also, as you guys are talking of challenges that I have to do this year. So your plan is, you've mentioned that you're very fearful of saying plans.
No, I don't say them before. I don't like saying them before. It's not good to say them before.
If you say them, then it kills the adventure, the curiosity.
No, it won't kill, but they say you might speak too soon. Yeah, sometimes we go try and we come and they see if we had but that's, I guess it's also a way of working it out. Yeah.
Or not saying. Okay, there are 2 things. Right? You do not say your plans, right? Then when you don't achieve, it's a soft way of saying things. If you don't achieve it, no one knows. Right? So ni yako, right? Ukisema umejeka pressure, right? Na ukisema ukiamua hilo nimesema, failure rate si kubwa sana, lakini usiposema whatever happens ni yako. Right? So when kuifanya wanasemanga how people used 40 years to reach Canada. So it's just a challenge. I'm not.
No, I hear you.
Because even me, I don't say many things. So if you do not say your goals, say them out. Right? So if you fail, right, or if you don't achieve, if you wake up I'll be waking up at 5 to train every. So if you don't wake up at a particular time, no one knows. You call yourself a 5 a.m. guy.
Yes.
So umoja lakini usipojita 5 a.m. guy, ukiamka 7, who bloody cares? But in your mind you're like, man, I would wish to be running at 5 a.m. But you don't say it. Right? So, but if you say tumejeka mkutano, umesema hapo and the world has amesikia, dunia imesikia. Ukijisemea dunia haijasikia.
Yeah.
Lakini ukisema ukitangaza, the world has heard. So that's some I know with the orthodox way of doing things, jeka pressure yenye haiko. Kisa zingine jeke pressure.
True.
Niko. You say it, ta, and the feeling that you feel once you achieve, even if you fall short, ni yako. It's nobody, it's no one else's goal. If the naysayers or whatever hawakupiga kelele, waseme huyu alikuwa anaongea na jigamba na hakufanya, ni yao. It's still your plan, still your goal, right? And sometimes that's what I credit, like let's say David who always says his plans, and he puts them out there, whether he succeeds or he doesn't succeed. Like how last year he did not do very well at the Comrades, he came again this year and he crushed it. And hate or love, right? It's very bold of saying these are your plans and this is the program, right? This is the coach I'm actually going and putting it out there.
True.
Right? I'm not saying we should always, because pain is up. Okay, we balance. You balance, you say which one I'm going to say, which one I'm not going to say. I love says, into the ocean. Let the sharks deal with me. This is my plan. I'm going to do the David Goggins 7x7 challenge before December. And I'm going to post when I begin. Friday, when we have the challenge. Wakiona nimezima the second run.
No, I know a friend who did it. Yeah, there's a friend who did it.
Yeah, it's not hard.
It's not hard,
You just plan it well. The issue with how I did it with Sydney is because I wanted to do it in every park. Kama ni Karura, nataka kufanya Ngong Sanctuary, nataka kufanya wapi. So we were driving all over Nairobi.
Olulua.
So I was running.
Oh, like that every hour you move to these other places.
Yes. Different places.
Because the challenge that I found for me is that it also has to happen at night. So you have to find a place. At night time now you still have to find a place whereby you feel secure running at night.
But if you have people, you do this.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ukiamua hata kama ni hapa unapiga hii Southern Bypass unasema kuna wezi usiku wezi wa gani. Wezi wa huko asubuhi. Shida ni kushikwa na polisi, hiyo ndio shida. Si mwizi sasa.
Because actually that friend of mine told me that the police were like, whoa.
Exactly.
But now at least she was running around the estate. So the police are like, hey, you out of your mind? What are you doing? But you know what Goggins would say? You don't know this.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
It's gonna.
So 7 p.m. you're running.
Yes.
Yes. So 7 p.m. you're running your 7 miles, like 10K. I don't know.
No, it's actually 4 miles, so it comes to 7 kilometers.
7 kilometers. Yes. So you're running 7 kilometers in every hour.
It's every hour.
I have no idea. 7 by 7. I think you rest maybe for an hour.
Yeah, there's some.
So 7 p.m. your next run, labda ni 9.
Yeah. There's a rest period.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a rest period.
Kama ni 10, so 7 umekimbia hapa. So I was like, so nimeka hivi, twende place nyingine. We drive, we run that place. Maka hivi 3 in the morning, place nyingine. 6 in the morning. Then I was inviting other people to join me.
Oh, okay.
Right, because ni wewe ndo unafanya. So kuna mtu wa 7, kuna mtu wa 10, kuna mtu wa 1. Mwingine unaenda kwa kugonga kwake. Awe twende kimbia.
No, that's
Nisindikishe hii 7 kilometers. Right? So it becomes very taxing and you haven't put your mind. So you don't know how crazy that thing is.
No, it is.
Until you do it, you're like, yeah. So now my plan ni kwetu nikikimbia nirudi hapa. Instead of
moving around.
And that usiku thing, you were doing it in a confined neighborhood, in a nice place, so you can find your 7 kilometers there. But they're sleeping. Kama malaria. Ini watu wa ultra ni mmezoea. Sasa sisi wenye tujazoea hata tujafika hiyo mileage. Unajaribu kuifanya it's ridiculous. But naifanya more.
That's good.
Right. Good. We've talked a lot. Yeah. So maybe we can say that it's part 1. Then part 1. Kunywe maji, kunywe chai, ama ni kitu. Then we come back, and when we come back, this will only be about the running, maybe science of it. You guys have said, what do you do when you plan for whatever it is you're planning for? What is your regime? What do you eat? What do you fuel? How do you do that? In terms of shoes, we want to hear your stories of running barefoot. Why barefoot? And these other shoes. All right. What's the healing thing that you get from walking barefoot or the thing? We want to know those things from your views. Right? You have a goal of running 100 kilometers every week because of your 42 thing. So ndo nataka kuingia, huyu anapostingi 1 run kwa Strava. Right? Ameficha hizo zingine zote
I just post the rest.
I do post, but it's only that I post after 1 week. I do them all together.
And then you post a
weekend on Monday. I post all of them. You see, because now I can say I've done 115 kilometers
this week, but nothing has been posted yet.
I think I posted. I posted today in the morning.
No, the ones you guys post in the group. Then of course nowadays now I follow him on Strava.
So you can see everything. It is
You
there.
have another profile. I don't see.
He has blocked you.
See that you give
He has blocked you.
I mean, look.
I always see his kudos. I always see his kudos, and I know that Red has seen it. I'll check. No, just check. When we go after this one.
So I mean, part one. So people want to know how you condition yourself, the diet, right? Your comments on dieting. You guys are all well framed. So new kula kila kitu, tumbo inagawanya chakula na mnakimbia mnachoma, ama new kuanga a bit cautious about what you eat. And if you're planning for performance, like Ruben, do you think that food is also an element of performance, or is it just crashing the roads? Yeah, kitu kama hizo. Na tena hii idea ya let's say in people who are entering into the sports, this is something else. Because now with running, it's becoming very expensive, right? The kind of shoes, viatu gani, the carbon shoes, nini ya watu wezi afford, the beginners. Hizi simu, kama muongee mambo ya VO2 max. Kama mimi siwezi ongea vitu kama hizo, because other phones hazina, other watches hazina. Vitu gani hizi watu wanaongea? Heart resting, heart rate, sijui nini. Now some newbie runners, I am also, I would call myself newbie. When you listen to that conversation, it kind of puts you a bit off. You're like, there's so many things you have to do before you tie your laces out there. So many things, right? That's more easy. You're like, hey, now am I ready to run? Right? So you give your view on that, and I'm not against all those things. And again, this whole idea of us being so addicted to the gadgets and maybe outside the running for fun. Where does now you train like for performance? Where do you run for fun? So sasa kila saa tunaangalia haya, nimefika to 59 kama in Kalineva, na yangu imefika to 58. So siku gani, right? If this is a sport we love, unaweza sema nakimbia, wanasema free running,
naked running,
right? Bila hizi vitu zote wananiambia lazima hivi. But I joined the race for the fun of it. There's a thing I posted to Sydney about a guy who runs with a dog. The dog didn't care about the PBs and stuff. The dog was so happy after the run. Right? And so a beautiful landscape. We don't enjoy the scenery and all those things because of our addiction, gadgets, and performance. Vis-a-vis, right? The performance itself. Right? You want to perform? Where is the fun? Comment on that. Silvio, 20 part 1. Sorry. Hold on, you talk on this.